Welcome to the Peak Performance and Peak Satisfaction podcast with Master Executive Coach Sherry Gregoff. Sherry helps business people perform better, get rewarded handsomely, and actually enjoy their work. After having her own career turnaround, she now helps other high-powered business professionals experience the same. Join the movement to work differently.
Welcome to the podcast. It's great to have you here. The best way to set the stage for transformational improvement in your work and life is to pause, to evaluate what's working well and what you would like to evolve. This audit will clarify the opportunities that can be seized to dramatically shift your day-to-day experience. In this episode, I tee up my work-life audit and share a special offer to do this together. Before we jump in, I want to shout out one of my clients who had a win in this area. Here is the quote from her. "I was so tired before this call, and I thought I couldn't meet. After my work-life audit with Sherry, I am on fire and don't want to stop." This was a quote from one of the dozens of audience members who took advantage of my work-life audit offer 3 years ago. These clients relished the opportunity to take stock with my guidance as their coach. As you heard in the quote, even if they felt exhausted in their current work-life balance, after 1 hour together, they felt empowered and energized. Each one left with new clarity in their situation and a plan to improve their work-life experience. Some wanted to focus on work-life balance or the lack thereof. Others wanted to dive deeply into work or into life, with the remaining area more of a side note. It's all on the agenda. No rules. An audit crafted just for your benefit and conducted one-on-one, so the experience is completely customized to what you need in that moment. In today's episode, I am sharing how to do the first phase of this work-life audit right now in the next 30 minutes. We are getting you primed for the work-life audit and then completing phase 1 here. Similar victories are shared by all of my clients, and I have experienced it too in my own career turnaround. So let's hop to today's podcast content and get you on your way to experiencing this also. At the time of this recording, it is August. Where I live on the East Coast of the United States, it's the most popular time for summer vacations. When I take time off from work, sometimes it's more of an adventure that we have planned as a family, exploring new places and soaking up new cultures, or an amusement park just for fun and thrills. But in August, we tend to schedule slower paced trips where we slow down and regroup. My preferred setting in which to do this is the beach or the mountains. In both of these scenarios, there are some gorgeous views that we tend to settle into and delight in over the course of our visit. In Colorado, we would stare at the mountain peaks and aspen trees. At the beach on the east coast of the States, we gaze at the rising sun coming up over the ocean. There's an opportunity to come back to ourselves, to stop the clock, clear the calendar, and recharge in the best way. With this free headspace, I find myself reflecting on the year to date and what's ahead. Not in a frantic, where's my to-do list way that might come up when I'm in my usual environment, but in a bigger picture, more existential way. It feels like tradition. On a beach is where my husband and I shared our dreams and generally forged our big life plans. There's a magic that happens out in nature without a big itinerary, a peace and quiet that brings everything into focus, enough silence to tap into our own intuition and creativity. I'll be back at the beach soon. I anticipate another wave of newfound wisdom will wash over me again. My vision for the year ahead will come into focus and how it fits into the next 5 years too. I'll release the expectations of those around me and really tune in to what I feel called to create in my work and life next. Maybe you've got a vacation plan this month, or maybe you'll be head down at the office. Whether you've got a beach or a mountain to gaze at, or just your same old computer screen, I would like to invite you to pause long enough to take stock and set a new course for what happens next. We will start this process together in this podcast episode, and we can finish it together one-on-one live in a work-life audit. More on that later. Maybe you are listening to this on your subway commute or your bike ride to the office. Maybe at the gym before a full day of meetings or on your nightly walk to wind down. Wherever you are, let's begin by setting the tone. Find the peace in your situation. Maybe it's the certainty of the commute that you have done 1,000,000 times. Maybe it's the familiarity of the routine you built years ago. Lock in to the stability of the moment as the perfect launching off point to do some deep reflection. You don't need a beach or a mountain. You can do this wherever you are, right now. Whether it's figuratively or literally, withdraw from the crowd and the rush. A typical day may be dominated by hurry, worry, and busyness. For our best clarity and creativity to take stock today, we are going to intentionally disengage from these 3 distractors. First, hurry. I found quite a bit of hurry in my own pace recently. Actually, it was more of a dramatic fall, a crashing down on all 4s to be precise. This is something that lifetime dancers like me do not like admitting to. I'm sure my high-wedged sandals, long flowy linen pants, laptop in my shoulder bag, and large glass mason jar in hand contributed to this predicament. But when I'm honest with myself, it was the rushing. It was my mind getting to my destination before my body did. It was an all-4s moment on hot, steamy pavement that woke me up from the hurried state as default. I say to myself, why the rush? I've got big plans, no time to waste, an inner urgency. But this racing and rushing made it take longer to get to my destination. I was addressing my wounds and ended up delayed to my next appointment, and my ego a bit bruised. If you sense a rush, a pervasive, non-specific rush, notice it and slow yourself down. I'm practicing this too. My coach likens it to driving everywhere in a rush, speeding, changing lanes to optimize with traffic flow. I'm from New York, where road rage feels like it's in our DNA, and any road, whether a Manhattan street or a highway, feels like the race car video games that were always my favorite. But when I really thought about how unpleasant my drive always was, or really when my never-in-a-rush husband showed me another way, I gave up glaring at the clock on my dashboard and cursing the traffic light changing to red and waving my hands at other drivers. I realize underneath it all, there was this expectation, this entitlement, to not have to wait to reach my intended destination. A drive was just a pesky delay, slowing me down. So of course, the object of the game became minimizing the time in the car. Instead, now, when I get in my car, I settle in. I love my car. It's gorgeous, comfortable, and it drives like a rocket. I leave myself plenty of time. I choose the roads that are the most pleasant to drive, with the least amount of fighting to merge or to have the right of way. I make my temperature just how I like it. Don't get me started on seat warmers and steering wheel warmers. I enjoy the quiet, or music, or audiobooks, or training. It's become time that I treasure. No more drag racing and glaring at the clock, calculating my time spent en route. Our careers can be much the same. We can be heavy-footed, leaping from roll to roll like lanes on a highway to try to get ahead. We can be tracking whether we or another car will get to the bridge first in bumper-to-bumper traffic. Maybe we like to tail someone else and follow their lead on the career path to not have to pay as much close attention ourselves. We may glare at the calendar and our measurable accolades, titles, and compensation, feeling this urgency that we are behind or late. We may feel entitled that we shouldn't have to work this hard to get what we want. This may be hitting home. It does for me. I was a high-pressure driver and a high-pressure business professional, with most of it being self-applied. I go back to being on all fours, still protecting the glass mason jar and laptop, but my knees and elbows skinned. Why the rush? Just like I learned to enjoy the drive, enjoy the ride, we can do the same in our careers. Take the race out of it. It's more pleasant and we're more effective, creative, innovative. Second, we have the element of worry. There is this game of time travel that we can fall into. Our brain, always working to survive and scanning for threats, will offer up our most challenging times or embarrassing mistakes to us as a little history lesson in an attempt to avoid the painful emotion that would come from a repeat performance. We worry that we'll trip up again and relive that most unfortunate event. Or our brain may serve up some new hits, catastrophic thinking on tap, all the many ways our situation can degrade and self-destruct. Here, our imagination is in overdrive on worst-case scenarios. In both circumstances, we are worrying about the past repeating itself or the future being even worse. I had a client ask me this week, is it really prudent to take a blue sky scenario view of this new role and how amazing it can be? He worried he was just setting himself up for disappointment. I explained that by worrying about the worst case scenario happening, sure, he would be setting his expectations low so as not to disappoint, but that also meant he would experience a dress rehearsal of the worst case scenario over and over without it actually happening and potentially ever happening. This is how I guided him on his scenario planning. Face the worst first. What's the worst case scenario, and would you live? How? Then take the best next, his blue skies scenario. What are all the ways that could come to pass, and why would he love it? Once you have your emergency plan for the worst case scenario, let it go. Don't rehearse it. Instead, replay the best case. This literally sets your brain to a mode to seek out every opportunity to create exactly that. It's called your reticular activating system. It's an efficient system right inside your brain already. No AI glasses needed. You will spot how to make that best case come to fruition by setting it as your important priority with your subconscious. Worry can trick us into thinking it's productive, like it's helping us move forward. Instead, we're just rocking back and forth in a rocking chair of worry, when really we want to get up and walk forward. Okay, we stepped out of the hurry and worry. Now for the busyness. If I had a nickel for every time I answered the question, how are you, with busy, I cringe just thinking about it. We think it's valiant and admirable. We think it's 100% factual. I've got a dirty secret for you. It's actually a way to puff our chests and try to convince the other person that we are super important and in demand. It happens so subconsciously that we don't even realize this. Our culture is one that boasts of busyness, productivity, output, achievement. We're human doings rather than human beings. As a result, we walk around overscheduled, overstimulated, overwhelmed, and thirsty for more. All the Red Bull, 4-hour energy, and espressos can't give us enough superhuman strength to produce at the level we'd like. And all the CBD, bourbon, and wine can't release the pressure to produce. Hoo boy, this one is a doozy. We can rebel against the pattern of the time, though. We can decline the meeting, the party, the trip. We can cut back on activities that drain us instead of filling us up. We can just say no when someone asks us or invites us. We direct our calendar and our time and energy. It's not the place to people please. Or you'll discover you're living your life for the travel soccer team or the PTA, and none of you are really even into that. Get a little greedy and protect time without the busy. Time to rest. Time to get bored. Time to breathe. Not only during vacation, but daily. I went to the dentist this week, and as I laid back in that chair with a faint massage setting in it and gazed up at the fluorescent lights with the cover of the tops of palm trees, seagulls, and white clouds on a blue sky, I remembered the days when the dentist felt like the spa to me. I could lay back with no grip on responding to devices or other people's needs, other than an occasional open wider or turn to your right. I could doze off to the satellite radio. I'm happy to report that my most peaceful moments are no longer that time on the dentist chair. I share this because if you have to wait for moments like that, or maybe you relish getting sick because you get a brief reprieve from work and life demands, I'm here to tell you that you don't need a root canal or COVID to take a break from the busyness. You, my friend, can pull the plug at any time, like at lunchtime, or the end of most humans' workdays, or Friday night for the weekend. But you've got to make that call. You are the only one to end the busyness, because the world piles it on thick and fast. Rebel with me and reclaim your time and peace. So, if I shook you out of the hurry, worry, and busyness, then it's time for the main event. We are taking stock by way of an audit, not like an audit conducted internally or by external auditors, so no need to let your heart rate quicken or anticipate feeling judged. This is your own audit of your work and life. Zero judgment, pure reflection, pointed assessment. The idea is to find the good, bad, and the ugly. No sugarcoating. Let's take a good look in the mirror to evaluate what you feel is going great so you can celebrate that, lean into it, and build upon it. Let's also consider where you would like to see some positive change. A simple framework that you can use to do this with me here right now is the following. Feel free to grab a pen and paper or pop open a blank note on your phone. This podcast is entitled Peak Performance and Peak Satisfaction in Your Business Career. Let's start with your work. We are going to use a scale from 1 to 10 to answer each question. In your career, how satisfied are you currently? Note your current satisfaction from 1 to 10. What level of priority do you currently place on career? Note your current priority 1 to 10. What level of your time and energy does your career receive currently? Current time and energy allocation 1 to 10. Now that we have an idea of where you are currently, let's turn to the future. Where do you want your career satisfaction to be? Your future satisfaction from 1 to 10. With what level of priority is career for you in your future vision? Future priority from 1 to 10. Does your time and energy allocated need to be reduced or increased? Rate from 1 to 10, with 1 being to reduce and 10 representing a desired increase. Note the level to which an increase of time and energy is desired from 1 to 10. Having this set of ratings can give you a more quantified sense of your career, its importance to you, and your desired shift in satisfaction. But numbers aren't everything, so let's do some brainstorming next. What would a 10 out of 10 satisfaction rating with your career look like? Now, don't answer based on what others see as career success. I'm only interested in your definition here. Success on your terms. Sustainable success without sacrificing what's important to you. Your non-negotiables fully intact. What would a day in the life look like for you there? Use your imagination here to consider what it would be like to actually step into that future state so you can gauge that for sure this is what would bring you peak satisfaction. Okay, great. Consider now what has gotten in the way of making that future vision your reality. What has limited you or served as a barrier from bringing the dream to fruition? Is it not going for it? Is it opportunities that maybe you raised your hand for, but you were not selected for? Whatever you think has been a culprit keeping you from achieving this vision, list it out. Next, consider what you may have tried to overcome these barriers. Maybe it was allocating more time to an activity, more energy to an activity, developing a new skill, or shifting your approach. Whatever it was, list out what you have tried in order to achieve this vision. Finally, what do you think needs to change to be successful in creating this vision for you in your career? What are your best guesses, your top theories on how to make it real? Note these ideas down. If your brain says, "Sherry, I have no idea," don't let it off the hook. If you did know, what would those top 3 theories be? Well done. This is the start of your work-life audit. This simple exercise will give you far more clarity on what you want from your career and where that differs from your current situation. This is phase 1. Here is what happens next. I take you through the next phase of the work-life audit specific to what you uncovered in phase 1. You share what you learned in this exercise, or if you were driving and couldn't record what came up for you, we do this phase 1 live together. I've got the questions and you just share the answers in your mind live. Then we turn to phase 2 of the work-life audit. This is where I show you the blind spots that show up as obstacles holding you back. These are the problems behind the problems that you're aware of, the root cause of the barriers that you are experiencing. I show you why what you've tried hasn't worked to date. This clarity itself can be life-changing. If you have ever had an illness and had trouble getting a clear diagnosis from a doctor, and then you finally hear a clear diagnosis of exactly what you are experiencing, you know how life-changing that can be. Someone gets it and understands even better than you do the discomfort you are in and the root cause behind it. This is the first transformative moment of the work-life audit. We don't stop there. Next, I show you what's possible for you with the path cleared of those barriers. When we do this together, we won't stop at your career. We'll get the same clarity of current state and your vision in health and relationships too. When I share what this vision that you articulated can look like on a daily basis, success in one area multiplying your success in all other areas, this is when you will truly appreciate the opportunity ahead and internalize the real impact to you, your business, your clients, your colleagues, your family, and your community. Now, for the best part, I show you how to solve for every obstacle and barrier. I show you the solution. If earlier It was like receiving a diagnosis of the discomfort that you're in now. This is the prescription. We design exactly what you want and then lay out the plan to create it. This is what I do. At the start of your work-life audit, you may have the exercise from today's podcast episode on your mind, your list of ratings out of 10 as an objective evaluation, and your notes on what a future state 10 out of 10 is. At the end of your free one-on-one work-life audit with me, you will have the root cause of your current state, what is possible in the future for you, and a plan on how to create it. This process feels exhilarating to take the reins on leading what you experience next in your work and life. If I think that coaching can help you implement this plan for accelerated results, I will share how that would work. If we both agree that coaching is a fit, we will schedule your first coaching session and begin implementing your work-life plan together. This is the power of the work-life audit that I am offering during the rest of this month of August. It's such a powerful exercise that I had to bring it back in this exact form to my audience after 3 years. Take advantage of this offer and build on the work you began in this podcast episode today by booking your free one-on-one work-life audit with me today. It's at the first link in the show notes. I look forward to hearing what you found and developing your work-life plan together. See you inside. Until next time.
Looking for support in applying the principles and strategies in today's episode? Sherry coaches clients one-on-one as their trusted confidant and advisor, helping each client create the work and life they had only dreamed of. To schedule your complimentary career strategy session, go to sherrygregoff.com/apply to book time with her today. It's one simple step that can change everything.